All right, we got this little sketchy boop here. And, I already did the sketching and the inking so that I could trace it onto here. So it's nice and clean. And believe it or not, this is from a pad of marker paper. And I got it on sale somewhere. And it feels really thin. I don't think I've tried this particular marker paper before, but I was also a little lazy about finding bigger paper. So, oh god, okay. Oh, I better get my erasey one ready. There we go, because we know I'm going to make a mistake. We know I'm going to make several mistakes. And even though this is marker paper, I kind of do plan on trying mixed media color pencil-y stuff with it. And, well, I'm just kind of hoping this goes well. And I'm a little worried with how thin it is. Like, it might do fine with the marker, but when I get to the colored pencil, that's where I'm kind of a little more worried about. Wow, why does this look dirty? Maybe it's just how it's layering with the thin paper. Anyway, we're gonna speed her up and get on with it. And as it turns out, it was just looking a little wonky when you first put the marker on, especially with how light this one in particular is. And it did dry clearer. I did kind of mess up the face a little bit. Like, there's some weird streaky lines in there. But, I mean, I guess some people can do, like, these big, fancy, beautiful portraits with marker. But for people like me, the bigger the space, probably the worse the marker is. That's just how it be. And yeah, it's kind of weird because I did try and use the broad tip end to try and like cover the cheek area and like those bigger spots. Although I feel like it came out lighter on that end. And I try and make sure to keep my markers stored like horizontally, not vertically. I've heard that if you store them vertically, the ink can flow heavy to one side, and it's better to store them horizontally. So I've been trying to, like, I do keep my markers horizontally, so it shouldn't be a problem about one end having more ink than the other. So I might have just been using the broad tip wrong. I almost never use it. I'm like, this should be able to cover big areas. I should be using this. And then I do, and then I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. You'd think it'd just be simple, easy, figure out. No, I'm not that smart. But yeah, so also, this was a lot of area to cover, but I usually section it off. And I mean, with all the detail that was there, it was pretty easy to. And like, see here, even here, I have that weird streak where, I mean, you can see where it's darker and lighter. And even on the shoulder got a little too dark, but that's okay. That's okay. And layering the colored pencil on here wasn't bad. It was definitely a little different not having the marker base first, but I mean, I don't think they make white markers. They make the colorless blender for when you like color something that you didn't mean to, but they don't actually have a white marker. I've never seen one anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen one. Also, it was at probably around this point, actually shortly after this point, that I realized that I didn't have any more Prismacolor black markers. Pencils. The markers that I used were Copics. The colored pencils are Prismacolor. And yeah, shortly after I started trying to get the dark color settled a little more, I realized I didn't have any more black. Of course, towards the end of the project, because I actually meant to do this character with black hair, although I kind of like him with both the black hair and the white hair, so because I'm so indecisive, I've decided that he has color-changing hair. That was a simple solution, right? Right, I like it. We're going with it. So this is him white-haired version instead of black-haired version. Although it was like towards the end of the project that I found another black Prismacolor pencil. And it's not that I don't have colored pencils of other brands. It's just that I can't get to them right now. That's a long story. That's a long, dramatic story. And we won't go there right now. Well, okay, let's just try and keep this a little upbeat, a little more happy, a little more artsy. Artsy. We're going to stay artsy. Maybe that'll be my outro. That'll be fun, right? That's a fun outro. Anyway, sidetracked. So I've actually been working on a bunch of character designs for a while. I took a break because I was doing like 2 groups of character designs too. But originally I was designing this character for a different project that I haven't even started yet. I spent too much money on the products and then just have not started yet. Because I keep thinking, gee, this involves skills I don't have. But I think I'm just going to have to suck it up and probably simplify a lot of the details. And yeah, I don't know if I will do that as a full video or if that will be a mini-sode kind of thing. I think it might be better as a mini-sode, so then I can just kind of pick away when I have the time, the energy, the motivation, the interest, etc., etc. Also, I think it was around this time that I was working on these characters that Kenichi came out in Genshin Impact. And so you can probably see where a little bit of the detailing was inspired by his character design, because I love his character design. And yes, he did get a new voice actor. That's a whole long story, and I only understand, like, probably half the details. I have a lot of questions about that. Anyway, and, like, I like the new voice actor. I don't think he's right for the Kenichi role. He just makes Kenichi sound like he's been de-aged. He sounds a lot younger now. And I think this guy deserves his own role anyway. Like, he would be super cool in his own role and not just, like, coming in to replace someone. Which I guess he didn't know he was doing, or I don't think he knew all of the details going into this, which is fair enough. And I do think it's super fun how he introduced himself as the new voice actor. And I think that was super fun. Yeah. So I've kind of benched that character for now. And I'll maybe try and get used to the new voice lines at a later time. But for now, yeah. But that doesn't change anything about how much I do like the character design. That was probably an unnecessary ramble, but I'm so sad. Like, the original voice actor was perfect for him. I loved it. And, yeah, no final product. I decided to leave the lips white. I was going to color them, but then I used a little bit of my metallic pencil in there. And I think that was the right choice. But as always, you guys tell me down below what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what you would have done differently. If you think the paper worked out well. It looks grainier with the camera and the light on it. But, you know, I think the face looks really, really cool. There's parts of it I'm not quite sure if I like or not, but yeah. It's your guys' job to tell me down below or in my Discord. The link is in the description. And I hope to see you guys in my next video, where you can also tell me what you do or don't like about that next project after this video. Until then, peace out!